Hey guys, welcome in. Thanks for joining us right on Rangers Live. Another Rangers game in the books, game 6. Rangers win today, close out the series with the Rays. Day off tomorrow, 4-1 victory for the Rangers. It was pretty tight for a while, but Rangers were able to tack on some runs at the end of the game. They win 2 out of 3 in Tampa. Off day tomorrow, and then one of the bigger series of the season, I would say, Houston, the Houston rematch. I'm looking forward to that one 100%. But first, before we get into that, we'll preview that series a little bit. Of course, we're going to break down game 6 for you, give you some box score review, go through each player in the Rangers lineup, go through the pitching, and tell you what I saw, tell you what I noticed from the game, give you some insights, and we'll go from there. Still waiting on a few people coming in. I'm going to actually go live on TikTok right now while I'm waiting for a few other people to join. But hope all of you are having a great day today. It's a beautiful day here in Vegas. Hope wherever you're at, you are enjoying the week so far as we start getting closer to the weekend. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. And by the way, I'm going to try and get some of the highlights of the game up for you guys. So let's get started. First of all, first inning, we had a few different notable things. We had Marcus Semien with a really solid out to start the game. I really feel like he had some big moments early on in this game that he kind of missed out on in a big way. So we had the bases loaded. I believe that was in the second inning. And Semien had that weak ground ball that ended up ending the inning. And what could have been a really, really big Rangers lead ended up being 0-0 after 2. Glad that Marcus came along late, a little bit later on in the game. He had a couple of really nice hits, but it was a tough day for him to start. He had a nice line drive in the 8th inning, 99 exit velocity. But I think at the very beginning of this game, it was looking like Marcus was going to have a tough day. But I'm glad Simi came through at the end, had some hits, got on base. But moving from there, I think the highlight, the story of this game is Nate Eovaldi, is it not? I mean, Evo was absolutely filthy in this game. The line for him, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And all of his strikeouts were swinging. No called strikeouts for Evo. All 8 strikeouts were swinging. Had the splitter working today. I think he threw it about 44 different times as I was looking at some of the advanced stats. He got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 3 or so different strikeouts with the splitter. Otherwise, he was getting the curveball working for some of those strikeouts. Struck out a couple of guys with the fastball. But Evo is the story of this one. He was absolutely phenomenal. Rangers needed a performance like this going into the off day tomorrow. I really think that he came in at just the right time, got the Rangers a series win. This is why you have big pitchers like this, right? You have guys like Evo that can come in off of a tough loss, get a win right before an off day, going into a big series against the Houston Astros starting on Friday. So Nate Eovaldi, loved the performance that the Rangers got from him today. He's really just picked up right where he left off in October. I mean, in October, he was a force to be reckoned with for the Rangers, a big reason why they won the World Series. It is great to see him doing his thing. And the bullpen, for the most part, after Evo, did a pretty nice job holding the lead. Never a doubt with Jose Leclerc. I'll tell you what, he just refuses to have a clean inning. And I know when you're up 4-0, you've got a little bit of cushion and you're just trying to get the ball over the plate, throw a lot of strikes. You don't need to be too precise when you got 4 runs to work with. But I think he takes that just a little too liberally, right? We don't have to be walking guys, hitting guys, giving up hits left and right. But I'm glad to see Leclerc ultimately closes out the game after giving up the shutout. It's still was not terribly close at the end, but I think most Rangers fans, having seen Jose Leclerc work, were kind of starting to feel a little bit of anxiety in that ninth inning. I was glad to see Spurs up. I surely did not want to blow that game after the start that we got from Nate Eovaldi. The last thing you wanted is Tampa Bay scoring 3 or 4 runs in that ninth inning and it getting really unnecessarily interesting. So my thoughts on Leclerc, by the way. I love Jose Leclerc. He's a great, great guy and also had a lot of great moments in the postseason last year. Do I think he's your typical closer? Absolutely not. I do not think that Jose Leclerc is your closer. I don't think that they need to have him as the long-term guy. I think they should go to kind of a system where honestly you just put in whoever is doing the best at that given moment or whoever's the hot hand or just mix and match, right? Depending on the matchups. All these guys at this point, all these guys have different tendencies against certain players. Mix and match things. I don't think the Rangers need to have a ninth inning guy, an eighth inning guy. So with Leclerc, I think he's a good reliever. I don't know if he's a closer. I think he's a guy that can get outs. I don't know if I want Leclerc as my closer permanently the rest of the season. I'd like to see Robertson close some games. I wouldn't mind seeing Spores close some games. In fact, I feel just as confident in those guys as I do in Jose Leclerc. And I think Leclerc is streaky. He has games, he has stretches of games where, as I said earlier, he is just going to refuse to have a clean inning. He's going to walk somebody, hit somebody, let somebody on base, and then ultimately get the save or perhaps give it up. But then he does have stretches where he will get guys 1, 2, 3, and it's like easy breezy walk in the park. So I don't think Leclerc is going to get all the save opportunities for the rest of the season. It's just too long of a season, 162 games. There are going to be times where other guys are needed, where other guys need to be called upon. But that being said, I really think that they're going to have to be flexible. I don't think Leclerc has so far probably put a lot of Rangers fans' worries to rest with some of the performances that he's had. You'd like to see him have those 1, 2, 3 innings. They're just not coming at this point. Doesn't mean they won't, but never a doubt with Jose Leclerc in the ninth inning. Oh, man. Let's see. Robertson was the only other pitcher. He had a nice strikeout on the knuckle curve against Caballero. Really had bad luck today with soft hits just getting down for the Rays. Evo had a few where I think one of the hits actually he absolutely sawed off. I think it was Lau or I forget who it was. Absolutely sawed him off. And the ball just goes right down the right field line and lands perfectly beyond Jared Walsh, and it goes for a double. And there were just hits like that all game long for the Rays, where you're getting incredibly soft contact and the hits are just happening to drop. So a lot of tough luck for the Rangers pitchers in this one. I bring that up because one of those happened with Robertson. Little Texas leaguer to center field. I think that was Meade that got that base hit off Robertson. Then there was a wild pitch to Siri. Meade advances. Robertson was in a little bit of a jam, right? It was first and third, 1 out, and it was looking a little bit dicey at that point. Got a pop-up, and then ultimately got a ground ball to Duran, who made a great throw. I think this is all 8th inning, by the way. Duran's playing no doubles. He's playing back. He's able to ground the ball cleanly, field the ball cleanly, and then kind of off of his back foot makes a really, really strong throw. I was really, really impressed with Duran's defense. He's got a solid arm. Duran didn't necessarily have it going on with the bat today. He was 0 for 4, had about 100-mile-an-hour line out to left field. So I think he had some, what I would say, like, pat on the back outs. You're not getting base hits, but you're hitting the ball well, and it's just not happening for you. But Duran making that big play in the 8th inning, you can't always contribute with the bat, but when you can contribute with the glove on the field, sometimes that can be just as good depending on the moment. So let's do a little box score review now that we went through the pitching matchups. Again, Rangers win this one 4-1. We're just talking all things Rangers, post-game reaction. We'll check on some scores around the league as well. A lot of day games today, a lot of those getaway games before some teams have some days off. So let's go right into the box score review here and let's check out a few things. So we talked about Semien. Semien ended up having a couple of hits, actually. I thought they were a little bit generous on the scoring on one of his hits. Kind of one of those ground balls where it's going to be a close play, but was it really a hit? I don't know. That was towards the end of the game. He did have a solid line drive. We talked about that. That went to center field. Very good contact on that. But Semien goes 2 for 5 with an RBI. Corey Seager, first home run of the season. Was great to see him homer today. Kind of went down and got a cutter and just hooked it inside that right field foul line. 95-mile-an-hour exit velocity. Great to see Corey Seager go 2 for 5 today. And really, his one home run, his solo shot, was the difference in the game for a long time. I mean, for a while, it looked like maybe that was the only run that was going to be scored in this one. So bear with me for a second here. I'm going to try and get that Corey Seager home run up for you guys. Again, 95 mile an hour on the exit velocity, hooked right inside the right field foul pole. I'm going to see if I can get it going right now. Yep, I got it for you. Let's check this out real quick. So this is Corey Seager hitting the solo shot to put the Rangers up 1-0. Let's check it out real quick. And let me go. Here we go. Perfect. And dramatic pause. Here we go.
1-1, and that's in the air. Launched down the line. Will it have enough into that corner? It is gone! He got it! Just enough to sneak it into that corner. Corey Seager's first home run of the year in the Rangers.
Just a great blast, right? He goes down, he gets it, and is able to hook it into the right field stands. You can see the stats on that homer. Looked at StatCast, and it appears that it would have been a home run in about 16 of 30 ballparks. So still a great shot, and great to see Corey Seager get on the board and get his first home run of the year. Can't ever complain when you've got Corey Seager going deep, and in the fashion that he did as well. When it's a 0-0 game and you really need a run to be scored, you need some kind of breathing room. Wyatt Langford, let's go to him. I know you guys probably can't see. Yeah, it looks like the box score went away. I'll just read to you instead of sharing, although I have a couple other highlights I'll put up for you. So Wyatt Langford goes 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts today. Look, there were 6 games in, and I don't want to be over dramatic, but this was probably Wyatt Langford's worst game as a Texas Ranger. Just didn't look comfortable. So, look, it happens. It was bound to happen. Langford hitting in the 3-hole, but probably his worst game. He just never looked comfortable at the plate. Savali really had his A game, I thought, for the Tampa Bay Rays today. Talking about the Rays starter, Aaron Savali. He really shut down the Rangers lineup. Right? Garcia looked terrible against Savali. Really, none of the Rangers starters had a great beat on him. There were only about 3 hits through the game. Seager was the only one. I think Heim had another hit. And there wasn't much else going on in terms of hits with this Rangers lineup while Savali was in the game. Once the Rangers got to the bullpen, they were able to open up a little bit more. But Savali was dealing. And it really looked like that Seager homer was going to be the difference in the game. So Wyatt Langford, again, not his best game. Jankowski came on, didn't get in at bat, but for defensive reasons, subbed out Wyatt Langford in the 9th inning and made a nice play on a ball going back to the track. It was actually one of the deepest hits of the game, according to StatCast. Again, that went to the track, but ended up falling short. So Jankowski spells Langford late. We had also, like I said, Adolis Garcia avoiding the golden sombrero. Right? It was looking very, very likely that Adolis Garcia was going to go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, but Garcia gets a base hit late and is able to avoid golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts, 0 for 4. So it was good to see that Adolis was able to get that base hit, get on base, kind of muscle the ball out over the shortstop, right? Didn't really get all of it or anything like that, but Garcia able to muscle a single and avoid that golden sombrero. Let's keep going down the line here. Jared Walsh. I mean, what can you say about this guy except positive things so far? Yes, he had a couple of defensive gaffes, mainly, I think, due to the ceiling, the roof at the Trop, which is a difficult ceiling at times to be able to track the ball. I mean, for those of you that know the game, they teach you when you're doing pop flies, especially in the major leagues, right? You've got to take your eye off the ball when it's in the air, right? You got to run to a spot, track the ball. You're not keeping your eye on the ball the entire time. Right? You're keeping your eye on the ball off and on as you track where you're at on the field. And when you have to do that with a white roof, kind of reminds me of like the old Metrodome, right, in Minnesota before they got their new park. Right? It's hard. You're taking your eye off the ball, and then you're looking back up, and you've got a totally white roof that you're trying to find the ball in. It's just a tough place at times to track fly balls. So we're not going to hold that against Jared Walsh. I don't know if those plays would have ended up making a difference anyway, and especially the game last night. But Jared Walsh goes 1 for 3 today with a double and a walk. So on base twice. Jared Walsh is hitting .381 with a 1028 OPS. He's making it, I think, and he's going to make it very tough for the Rangers coaching staff when Nate Lowe gets healthy again. We talked about Nate Lowe yesterday. He was on the broadcast during the Rangers game, and everybody loves Nate Lowe. How do you not love that guy? I mean, just a total positive vibe dude in the dugout, just a great teammate to have around. And obviously, Nate Lowe has a great glove, and he can swing a great bat. I think he got a little bit cold at the end of last year. But if Jared Walsh keeps hitting .380 and has an OPS of over 1,000, Nate Lowe's going to have a tough time coming back. And by no means am I trying to stir up any controversy here. It's just the facts. You got a dude hitting .380 with over 1,000 OPS. It's going to be tough to sub a guy like that out of the lineup. So I really think that if Jared Walsh can continue to hit like he's done, he's going to get playing time. And the Rangers could use a guy like him, especially with Josh Young going down. Of course, the Rangers all-star third baseman who was hit by a pitch in the wrist. By the way, speaking of Josh Young, I don't know how many of you guys saw. So they did the surgery in Phoenix. It was actually the same guy that did surgery on Josh Young last year, and the damage was worse than they thought it was. So Josh Young, not going to be a 6 to 8 week, or I think it was even like a 4 to 6 week timetable. It's going to be an 8 to 10 week timetable on Josh Young, unfortunately. So with that, I think you're thinking about probably All-Star break, if I had to guess. I don't really think that Josh Young's going to be back before then, which sucks. But All-Star break is probably going to be the timetable. I mean, let's just go worst case scenario, 10 weeks, right? So that puts us at minimum in the middle of June. Then after that, you've got rehab time. Who knows how long of a rehab he's going to need. The Rangers actually showed that they really don't over rehab guys down in the minor leagues. What I mean by that is in some cases last year, they didn't even have guys go on a rehab assignment to AAA or AA. They just brought guys back. And clearly it depends on the guy, right? Some people are going to need that assignment down in the minor leagues to get back to 100% where they want to be. But there are some guys on this Rangers team that can kind of just do their own thing, do their own rehab with the club, and then slide right back into major league games. So we'll see what they do with Josh Young after his 8 to 10 weeks of recovery time is done, whether they send him out on an assignment or bring him back. I still think probably going to be more on that All-Star break, maybe right before or right after timetable. I think that the Rangers can survive it. I'm not pessimistic about the Rangers season losing Josh Young, and that's no slight against Josh Young. I've said for the offseason and at the beginning of this year, Josh Young is going to be an MVP candidate. He is that good of a hitter. He's that good of a defender. It's a loss for the Rangers. But this Rangers team is just so unbelievably stacked at multiple positions that they're going to be able to absorb that hit. They're a deep enough team. Would it be great if Zeke Duran, Josh Smith could continue to play exactly like they're playing right now? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Probably not. I don't know if Josh Smith is going to continue to have games like he did today. He had moments last year. The Rangers, I think, announcers and just some of the media guys that are with the Rangers frequently said that Josh Young had a very good spring, saw the ball very well in the springtime, and they're being proved right now. I mean, you look at the box score, Josh Young moving on from Jared Walsh. Josh Young 1 for 4 today, had an amazingly clutch hit in the ninth inning, a 105-mile-an-hour line drive to center field that really gave the Rangers the cushion they were needing in this ball game. And he actually had another hit that was about 105 miles an hour off the bat to center field. So Josh Smith coming in playing some shortstop today while Siegs just got a day where he was just DHing only. Josh Smith really came in, I think saw the ball well. And if they can continue to get the kind of days like they did from Smith, even from Duran, they'll take it, especially with that Josh Young injury. So Josh Smith goes 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, runs scored, batting 286. He hasn't got many at bats, so that average is going to fluctuate quite a bit. But batting 286 on the year. We talked about Duran, went 0 for 4 today, played some good defense, hit the ball hard at times. And then let's end a box score review with Leody Taveras, who I thought had an outstanding game today. A lot of people down on Leody right now, and myself included. I've been a little bit hard on Leody of late. Hasn't been swinging a good bat, didn't have a good spring, didn't have a good World Series. And I think with Langford and with Carter and with some of these young guys emerging out in the outfield, I think Leody is going to have to prove himself this next month in order to maintain consistent playing time. And I think games like today are going to help to dispel some of the worries about him. He goes 2 for 3. He gets a walk, so he was on base 3 times today, 3 out of 4 at bats. Those are the kinds of games that are going to help you feel better about Leody in this lineup. Evan Carter, I was kind of surprised to see him get an off day against a right-hander. Wouldn't have surprised me at all if there was a lefty going today. But against a right-hander, I was a little surprised to see Carter not get the start today. That being said, he doesn't have a hit yet this season. I mean, clearly struggling a little bit, although up there among the tops in the American League in walks, talking about Evan Carter. Fun fact on him, by the way, and this is just StatCast stuff, which I know not everybody buys into like 100 million%, but I think it's pretty notable nonetheless. Evan Carter, according to StatCast, third fastest player in Major League Baseball. Third fastest player in Major League Baseball. Rangers actually have 4 of the top 14 fastest players in Major League Baseball. And I don't know if I'm going to get the order right for you, but Evan Carter, third fastest player in Major League Baseball. Wyatt Langford, I believe, is up there as well. I think he's the second fastest Ranger. And I think he was right around the outskirts of the top 10. And then you had Duran and Simeon rounding out. I think they were like 13 and 14, respectively, fastest players in Major League Baseball. So that was surprising to me to see that. I knew Carter was fast. I knew Langford had wheels. Duran surprised me to see him, I think, at number 12 or 13 on that list. I knew Simi had some speed, but to see 4 Rangers on the top 14 list, fastest guys in Major League Baseball, surprising. And I mean, absolutely a welcome sight to see. When you have speed on the base pass out in the field, I mean, the Diamondbacks kind of showed what you can do with that last year. Obviously, Rangers beat the Diamondbacks, but the Diamondbacks love to steal bases, right? Love to cause havoc on the base pass. And of course, speed plays when you're out in the field, tracking down fly balls, your range at certain positions. So Rangers, 4 guys in the top 14, fastest players in Major League Baseball. So going back to Carter, I'm sure that he'll be back in the lineup against the Astros this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday night, I believe, is ESPN, Astros, Rangers. Really excited about that. I don't think I have any other notes from today's game that I wanted to go over. The only other one I think worth talking about, Jonah Heim had about 100-mile-an-hour line drive to the shortstop today. I think this was 8th or 9th inning, and probably kind of one of the most controversial calls of the year. So the shortstop gets a glove on the ball, right? In fact, I might be able to show you guys this play. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know if they have it on MLB or not. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. Guys on TikTok, I apologize. I'm not going to be able to pull it up for y'all, but I'll try my best to explain it to you. So doesn't look like they've actually here. Let me check it out. Basically, shortstop really never had a good capture of the baseball, of the line drive, and they kind of ruled like he was transferring the ball, and they gave the out to the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't think they should have, but that's what they ended up ruling. So let me see if I can get this play up for you. Man, I was for sure that if I went to all the videos from this game that they would show it, but I don't know if it's going to be there for us, guys. I'll have to post it later. Maybe I'll do a reel about it later. But controversial play. Jonah Heim hit the ball multiple times hard today. It was good to see that from him. I think he had a couple of hits today, but really, really controversial play. I'm sure that if you check out the full highlights later that the Rangers will post on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. Like I said, maybe I'll put it in my stories on one of my social media apps, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But beyond that, not a whole lot of other notes today. Still wondering when Justin Foskey is going to get his first start. I'm really curious to see. I mean, I don't know why you'd bring him up if you're just going to let him sit the bench for all these games. Maybe it's just strictly depth. I feel kind of bad for him. I think there's some other guys they probably could have called up if you just needed a guy to ride the bench for a few days as insurance. But hopefully we'll see Justin Foskey and see what he can do in the Astros series. Speaking of, let's go ahead and let's preview that Astros series a little bit. So Friday night is first game, and let's see if I can get a feel for that pitching matchup. So off day tomorrow, which is good. Give the Rangers an opportunity to rest up. They really didn't have to overextend the bullpen or anything today. So that's, I think, a real positive thing. Only had to pitch 2 guys. So hopefully they'll be ready to go. Bullpen will be fully rested, because I think these are going to be some tight games with the Astros. I mean, in the course of a long season, it can always be a little bit hit or miss. But looking at the matchup on Friday, let me pull it up for y'all. Looks like we have got, let me see. I can only assume that maybe Bradford is going to be back around, but I don't know. The Rangers are kind of doing some interesting things with the rotation lately. And we'll see who Houston's got as well in that game. Just had it up, guys. Sorry for the delay. Let's check out this preview. All right, so Friday night, game time start. And looks like we have Bradford going and Brown going for the Astros. I think he might be a rookie, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, looks like he hasn't pitched too much. 2019 draft pick. He might have thrown a little bit last year from what it looks like. Now, I think he's in his second year. He's got about 32 games under his belt. So I think he's in his second year. So we'll see how the Rangers fare against him. I don't know if he's got any starts against the Rangers. I'm going to see if I can look up some of his splits right now. It doesn't look like there are any stats, so I don't think he's faced the Rangers quite yet. But he'll be throwing against them on Friday night. Of course, this is going to end up being a pretty big series to determine where these teams rank after a couple of weeks of play. Astros are currently 1-5 right now, so they cannot take the division lead even with the sweep. I don't think they're going to be sweeping us. This game, by the way, is in Arlington. This series is in Arlington, so I really hope that Rangers fans pack the house. I know a lot of you guys know I'm in Vegas, but I would love to see just a sellout crowd every single game for these Astros games coming up. So Cody Bradford, against Hunter Brown, I believe, on Friday night. And let's see if we can get a couple of the other matchups moving forward here. Saturday, I'm sure Dane Dunning will probably be back up. We also, I'm sure, will potentially, I don't think we'll see Heaney again, but Dunning, I'm sure, will go. And then we'll see who they end up throwing Sunday night. But I'm excited for this series. I think that Astros series is always a little bit of a measuring stick. You always kind of get an opportunity to see what the Rangers are really made of the first time they play the Astros, but I can't say I really have a doubt about how they're going to do. You know how I'll be betting. In fact, betting system is 4-2 now on the season. We're betting 1 cent, by the way, for every Facebook follower that we have. Maybe we'll expand it eventually, depending on how the Rangers do. But right now we're sticking with Facebook, not trying to do triple digits quite yet on our bets. But I think we're profiting about 32, 33-ish dollars on the season. So we'll hope to continue the positive trends on our betting system so far. Back on Friday. Saturday is John Gray, no Astros starter announced. And then it looks like on Sunday, we're back to Dane Dunning. And it looks like Blanco is scheduled to start that game. He had, of course, the no-hitter, I believe, for the Astros a couple of nights ago. We'll see how he fares against the Rangers. And then Monday, after the Stros, this is a 4-game series. Wow, I didn't realize that. 4-game series. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday, we've got Heaney pitching against Valdez. Rangers hit Valdez pretty well. So, wow, 4-game series. So I take it back. Astros, I mean, if they swept, which, let's be honest, they're not going to. But if they were to, they could take the division lead. But I think this is a great opportunity for the Rangers to really expand this lead. I mean, look, you can't decide the division in April, but if the Rangers were to sweep or take 3 out of 4, Astros are going to be in a pretty big hole. If they sweep, Astros would be, I think, 7-ish games back based on the results from today. Right now, the Angels and the Rangers are actually tied for first place at 4-2. Angels have won 4 games in a row. We'll see what they have for this season. I don't think a lot of people have the Angels doing too much this year, but Angels have won 4 in a row and are tied for the division lead, AL West, at 4-2, along with the Rangers. Mariners are 3-4 on the year. Astros 1-5. Athletics 1-6. And if we're looking at the scores from around the league today, looks like most of the games, like I said, have already been played out, but there's a few that are still going. So today looks like the only AL West games that haven't been played. Okay, actually, I take it back. I think every AL West game came to a close. Angels beat the Marlins today. Marlins are winless. And then we had the A's losing 1-0 to the Red Sox. Astros are actually, they're playing right now. Game's about to start. They play the Blue Jays. So go Blue Jays in that one. Looks like Bassett's throwing for the Jays, and they got Javier throwing for the Stros. So hopefully we'll get a Blue Jays win tonight. That's the game I'll have my eye on. Astros would drop to 1-6 and would be 4 games out of first place with the loss today. So there it is. There's the AL West roundup for you guys. I think we're just about done here. Questions, guys, comments, anything on your mind that we missed talking about as we broke down the game from today, drop it in the comments section. Would absolutely love to hear from you. Hey, guys, I see, by the way, I'm kind of got an interesting setup here, but I'm catching up a little bit on Instagram comments. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I will probably have a reel out tomorrow. I'll probably cut something from one of the recent lives with the Rangers off day tomorrow. No reel previewing any matchup or anything like that. I'll have that out Friday for Friday's game. Excited to preview that matchup against the Astros. But, guys, it's been great. Looking forward to talking about the Stros series. Maybe this weekend I'll go live for like the 8th and 9th inning of one of those games. I know for the most part we've been going live immediately after games are over, but being that it's the Astros series, maybe I'll go live and I'll watch a couple of the innings with you guys. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. So for today, we're signing off. As always, guys, God bless, go Rangers, and we'll see y'all soon.